guys, in this video I'm going to give you 10 very important tips on how to escape the epic hell. I think this title is quite fitting, since playing an epic rank feels many times like being in hell. But don't worry, it's possible to escape it and rank up into the glorious legend rank, which is sometimes even worse than epic, but we will talk about this another time maybe. Now, let's focus on the things you can do to escape this circle of hell. First, I'm going to separate this guide into two sections, before the match and in the match. Number 1. Adjust and draft pick. Especially when you're playing solo, this is super important. You should be able to play every role. When you have the 4th or 5th pick, it will happen many times that another player chooses a hero that has the same role as yours. And you should avoid going into a match with 3 mages. So learn how to play a hero for each role. Importantly, I'm not talking about the mage or assassin role here. I'm talking about the lane your hero goes, like the XP lane or the jungle. What brings me to number 2. Learn at least one hero for each role. First, you should know the OP heroes in the current season, and try them out to choose your favorites. You can see the most picked heroes here. Choose Legend Plus and sort by popularity. You don't need a different hero for each role, by the way. It's a good idea to learn a hero who can perform well in different roles. A good example is Jawhead. He can be played in the XP lane, as jungler and as a tank. You should be able to play him in almost every game, because you just have to adjust to the role. If you want to know how to play him, check out my Jawhead guide after this video. But I have to make an exception here. You should avoid playing the tank if your teammates have a bad win rate. It's very difficult to carry bad teammates with a tank. So before you choose a tank, ask for the win rate of your core. Next is number 3. Adjust to the enemy. You should not only adjust to your teammates, but also to the enemies. This can really make the difference in many games. For example, if you play as MM and your enemy has a lot of heroes with CC skills, you should use the spell Purify. It's the same the other way around. If they have almost no CC skills, you should use a different spell. Another example, if your enemy has a hero with high regeneration, like Esmeralda, Yuzong or Fanny, you should buy Sea Halberd or Necklace of the Rents to counter it. If your enemy picks a counter to your hero you want to play, pick a different one. You shouldn't make it easy for the enemy to dominate you. For this you should of course know who counters your hero. Which leads us to number 4. Ban the right heroes. Once you know the heroes who counters yours, you can simply ban them. If you cannot ban, you can ask your teammates of course. You should also know the current most OP heroes and ban them. Only avoid banning them if your team wants to pick him and you have the first pick. If not, the enemy could pick him and give you a hard time. Number 5. Build an emblem. Another very important thing, choose the right emblem and don't use the default build. Your build makes a huge difference in your hero's performance. So it's absolutely vital that you know which items you should use. If you just look at the equipment book, it is quite overwhelming. But to get an idea, you can look at the pro builds, or watch hero guides of course. Same goes for the emblem. If you go to the leaderboard, you can check out the emblem of the pro players and just copy it. These are all tips on what you can do before the match. Let's continue with what you should do in the match. Number 6. Prioritize objectives, not kills. I think this is the most important thing you should do. Without taking the objectives, you can't win any game. Let's define first what are the objectives from the most to least important. First, it's obviously the enemy space. To get there you need to take down the enemy's turrets. The turtle and the lord are also very important objectives. The buffs for the jungler are very important, and the lethal wanderer and the gold crab are also objectives. Kills are not objectives. So many players go for kills only, but it will not help you directly to win the game. Kills help you to take the objectives successfully and gives your team a gold advantage. Also the rating at the end is not important. That's only something for your own ego. Number 7. Farm, farm and most importantly, farm. This counts for all roles except for the tank of course. It's super important to farm all the time so you have an advantage over your enemy. Especially in the early game it's vital. If you become level 4 before your enemy does, you can dominate every hero and start to snowball. It should be always your priority to become level 4 first. You should also farm correctly. If you're playing on the lane, don't miss any minion waves. They are giving you the most farm. Also don't waste your time in the jungle or steal the buffs from the jungler. The jungler needs the jungle creeps to farm, since he gets almost no gold from minions in the first 5 minutes. The same rule applies for the jungler as well. Don't farm the minions on the lane. You're just stealing the gold and XP from your teammates and doesn't become stronger that way. As a jungler, clear the jungle, especially the buffs. Number 8. Build up your awareness. You should learn what to do in which situation. Your best friend is the minimap here. You can basically always see on it what you should do next. I'm giving you some examples. If you see no enemies on it, be careful. They could be all on the way to your lane. If you see 3 or more enemies on the opposite lane, it's time to push your lane. If you see the whole enemy team on the lane next to you, clear the minion wave and rotate to help out your teammate. If you see that your teammates are coming to your lane, try to force a gank to kill the enemies and push the lane. Another thing you should do, use your ears. While scrolling around the map, you can actually hear your enemies even when you cannot see them. For example, if you plan to steal the enemy's buff, you can scroll to the area and hear if the enemy's jungler is taking it or not. Same goes for the turtle and the lord. I would highly recommend to turn off the in-game music. Otherwise it's quite difficult to hear what's going on. You can also scroll to get a better overview of the situation before engaging into a gank. Number 9. Learn how to rotate. As mentioned before, you should always clear the minion wave. So don't rotate when a wave is just coming up. Once you cleared it, you're free to rotate. But you shouldn't go any further than the lane next to you. It doesn't make any sense to run to the other side of the map because it takes way too long to get there. Also, your enemy can push the lane you should defend. As a jungler, the rotation is a bit different of course. What you can basically do is rotating from one side of the map to the other and clear the jungle on the way. And number 10, don't tilt. It happens so many times that you play with bad teammates together. Don't tell them how bad they are. It's hard enough when your enemy is beating you down. Avoid being toxic. There's so many toxic players out there. You don't need to become one of them. Spread love instead. Being nice to your teammates can give you a huge advantage, since it's much more likely that they will help you out, and it keeps the spirit high when you play with nice people together. In the end, it's a 5 versus 5, so teamwork is really important. Quick little bonus tip. Maybe you can even get a friend like this. It's easier to rank up when you have a skilled friend or two, and you play together with them. I'm playing almost all the time with my wife together. She was actually the one that introduced me to ML, and with her together, it's been much more easier to rank up. That's all for today's guide. Which was the most important tip in your opinion? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and see you next time.